We did it. We did it, Joe. You're going to be the next president of the United States.
Ew, are we really going to have to listen to that for the next 4 years? That fake, phony.
Joe Biden. He's the man with the Biden touch. A creepy touch.
Okay, this is a quick rant because we concede nothing. Hear what I say? We concede nothing. And again, no matter what happens as this plays out, no matter what happens if it gets before the SCOTUS, no matter what their decision is, we know this election is fraudulent from start to finish. That's the bottom line here. And listening to some of you trolls in your comments trying to explain, well, how do you explain that McConnell and Graham won re-election, but not Donald Trump? Well, that's pretty simple. How do you explain the fact that there are millions of ballots that only have Joe Biden's name checked off on them? Nothing down ballot. Nothing. That when they were harvesting votes, they didn't bother to try to prop up the rest of the Democratic ticket. They were only interested in getting Joe Biden in that Oval Office, whatever fraudulent method they had to engage to make it happen. So don't even go there with me, because you know what? Honestly, really think it through. That said, if this election fraud holds up, and if Joe Biden, the guy from Scranton, becomes the 46th president, and we have to put up with Kamala Natahati Harris as the VP. If I were Joe, I'd sleep with one eye open, because you know what she's thinking. That said, remember, Joe ran on he was going to be a uniter. He was going to bring us together. Here's what I want you to think about. He can't bring his own party together. No, he can't. Now, the party got unified on getting rid of Donald Trump. It doesn't matter which fraction of the Democratic Party you find yourself in, they were all united, and Trump got to go. And of course, that just fueled the never-Trumpers and rhinos. But in the end, what has Joe got on his hands? A Democratic Party that has three divisions. You have your neocon liberals, which is the Joe Biden camp, which is they are socially liberal, quasi-liberal on their economics as far as, yes, they want to fund social justice type things, and, they want, expanded welfare, expanded programs which create government dependency, because thus that translates then into voters. You're going to vote for the people that are paying you. You're going to vote for the people that take care of you. But ultimately, he's a Wall Street liberal. He's going to do the things that protect Wall Street, that protect big business, the big corporations. That's exactly why that Wall Street was not put off by a Joe Biden candidacy. It's exactly why they're not put off by even his hint of perhaps a national lockdown to really get coronavirus under control. Because again, that is the way that they slowly introduce their quasi-socialism into our economy, by absolutely crushing and annihilating small business, independent business, entrepreneurial business. You can't be thinking that you're strong and independent and can make your own way in this world. No. You must give over now to the globalist, corporatist agenda, which is one and the same, by the way. The big box stores, no matter what the lockdown looks like, the big box stores, the Walmarts, the Home Depots, etc., they will remain open. They will be in business. Amazon will be open. The mom and pop diner in your town won't. The mom and pop lumber yard won't. Some of the smaller chain stores that, especially if they have any type of conservative leanings, They won't survive a national lockdown, but the big corporatists will, the globalists will, and that ultimately then crushes the independent job market, the independent economy. Then you will be needing them. You will be needing the big corporations for a job. You'll need that $15 minimum wage that I've been promising you, and now Biden's going to make that happen. And of course, you know, the Andrew Yin Yang idea of a guaranteed basic income so that you have some survival money, that will pick up some traction now, because after all, you're going to need money because there won't really be any way for you to make it yourself. You're going to be completely dependent, and thus that is socialism. That's one of the reasons why with all these COVID lockdowns and shutdowns, one of the reasons that they target the church and try to make you think that if you go to church or sing in the choir, you're being a super spreader. Yet there's no thought of that when people are rioting or protesting in the streets. Well, why is that? Well, see, again, the church, you're there to worship God. You're there to have your faith reinvigorated. You're there to receive inspiration and admonishment from the Word, encouragement from each other, and they can't have that. See, because in a socialist society, you can have faith in nothing and no one but the government. You must look to the government for your needs to be met. Why do you think in socialist societies, which always become totalitarian, why do you think religion gets crushed out? Because religion will give you faith. Faith to believe in God, and faith to believe that God created you. And because God created you and you are created in God's image, He has given you knowledge and creativity and ability. You can be more than you are. Isn't that what the message of salvation is? That you come to Christ, lost, broken, as a sinner without hope. You receive Christ as your Savior, and thus you are redeemed. You have purpose. You have value. You are not the old you. You are a new creation in Christ, and you are destined and purposed by God to do something significant in this life. Well, the state religion of socialism, they can't have that. That's a competing message, and it's a message that is contradictory to what they want you to be, a victim, oppressed. Do as you're told. Which is why they enforce mask mandates, which is why they try to instill this fear into us that we can't make it without them. That's all coming from the Democratic Party, and they're all in these divisions. And here's the thing. You've got the extreme progressives. They hate Biden, but they voted for him because they want Orange Man gone. The neocons, because that's where Biden comes from, they voted for him. And then you have, I call them the old JFK holdovers. You know, they're Democrats who still believe in the American dream and patriotism, and they're Democrats because their grandfather was a Democrat, their great-grandfather was a Democrat, and their great-grandfather's grandfather was a Democrat. And, you know, they come from the old Rust Belt. They come from the working class, the blue-collar Democrats, thinking that, you know, that's still in the fabric of the Democratic Party. No, nay. And now somehow Joe Biden's got to try to hold all that together. And here's what will happen. They will become a circular firing squad because eventually, again, if this fraudulent election holds and they take power, well, even among the lying legacy corporate corrupt mainstream media, they're driven by ratings. They're driven by whatever the newest controversy is that gets people riled up. That's how they get viewers. That's how they get ratings. That's how they charge money for advertising. It's what sets their rates. So it won't be too long before they can't keep just talking about Donald Trump. They're going to have to talk about the Democrats now running the show. Well, so then you're going to have Democrats shooting each other because they won't have Donald Trump to shoot at anymore. And trust me, Joe Biden is not even remotely mentally, even on his best day when he was still quasi-sharp, he's not going to be able to pull that off. Kamala, not a Hottie Harris. We did it, Joe. We did it. Yeah, you did it all right. And you may not like the results that you get. Hey, that's something I just wanted to leave with you today. Just Take heart. Do not be despondent. We are not conceding. The president still has legal avenues to pursue. But again, we need to be prepared. Not that we're wrong about the somebody said, well, if none of this works out, then Pastor Marty, you were wrong. No, I'm perfectly spot on in what the Trump strategy is here and moving forward. The strategy moving forward is this has got to get to the Supreme Court. Just because I understand what the plan is, I cannot guarantee, no one can, not even the president can guarantee that's going to work, because we don't know how far-reaching the tentacles of the deep state are. Do they have the Supreme Court that we don't know about? So there you have it. It's Thanksgiving time. It's time to look up, to be thankful for what we do have. Don't be scared and dissuaded from staying away from friends and family because it's a scary pandemic. Again, the reason they don't want you to gather has nothing to do with a pandemic. They don't want you being encouraged. They don't want you getting your legs back under you and getting over the fear. They have to keep ramping up the fear. It's the only way they gain power. I talked to a doctor today. Here's something interesting. Vaccines hit the market when they have about a 40 to 50% success rate. Pfizer comes out with their COVID vaccine with a 90% success rate, which according to this doctor, who also happens to be the magic word that CNN and the lying legacy corporate corrupt mainstream media hang on, he also happens to be an epidemiologist. And he said if Pfizer is at 90%, then that means they were at 40 or 50% months ago. Let me say that again, months ago. They purposely held back to hurt the president politically. They have weaponized this virus, and they've weaponized it on purpose, and not just to take down Trump, but to get you into compliance so that they can bring on their form of socialism. But they need you afraid, willing to give up your freedom for a false sense of security, and ultimately so that, they can come in and quote unquote save the day. But take heart. This isn't over. You have things to be thankful for. Be up, be hopeful, be optimistic, and be with your family. No man is promised tomorrow. And see those adult parents of yours. Let your kids see grandma and grandpa. It's that important. Be blessed. Hey, just a quick rant. Thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up and a like. Share this to your social media platforms, and make sure you're a subscriber to the channel. Smack the bell and click the word all to get notification of my next rant.